Good morning once again, and thank you for joining today's annual general meeting.
Hello. Wait. They are meeting over here. Just 5 minutes.
Good morning.
Sorry about that. Yes, so good morning. Welcome to today's annual general meeting, a mini annual general meeting. This is a prelude to a major general meeting that will be held in October at the African Nutrition Conference. My name is Senam Klomega, and I'm your acting general secretary, and I'll be the MC for today's AGM. Without further ado, I'll just call on one of our members to share an opening prayer with us, and then we can begin. RDFO Musanza, kindly share a word of prayer with us to begin the meeting. Thank you.
Please let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we are grateful to you for such a day like this. This is the day you have made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. It is your will for today's meeting to come to pass. Therefore, we ask the Lord, may you take the high seat and direct where this meeting is supposed to end. Let the goal of this meeting be achieved as you have purposed long time ago. May you grant us the wisdom. May you grant us all that we need to spare this group on this academy as you want us to make the nutrition impact in Ghana, in Africa, and globally. Thank you so much for today. We bless you for a wonderful meeting in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much, RD, before we answer for the prayer. All right. So for this meeting, we have basically, I think, 4 main agenda. We will be hearing an address from our president on what we have done as an academy for the past year. We will also hear from Reverend Prince Beidu, who is the current chair of Practice Standards and Accreditation, on the difference between licensure and credentialing. Most members have asked questions on what's the difference between credentialing, why should we be credentialed? If I have a license with AHPC, do I need to be credentialed? He's going to shed light on that, so members are clear in our minds the difference. We would also hear from Audi Percival Agodo, and who will be supported by Dr. Frank Hayford. They are the members of the LOC of the African Nutrition Conference. They would want to encourage members to join in. So they are going to also have a brief presentation on what to expect at ANEC or ANC 2024. And then finally, I think we will hear from our EC on the progress of the voting, the progress of our voting, and then let us know when to expect the declaration of results. We would hear that as well. Yes, and then finally, we would have an open forum for members to share their concerns, express their opinions, and give comments on what is needed to move the academy forward. So without wasting much time, I think, yes, our president is on call. I would call Professor Kingsley Poyakun to give the address of the academy if he's ready. President, over to you.
Hello, and
Good morning to everyone. I believe we are all fine, and we are all welcome to this year's AGM. I must say it's really been a very long and tough road for every one of us. Looking at the turn of events this year, more so in perspective, currently also looking at our current activities that we have to look at as GAND. I would be, I think I have a little bit challenge with my PC display. Okay. I would be very brief as online presentations, online programs. We don't necessarily have to keep our members for too long, and the opportunity that we will definitely have to have more interaction. So in our activities, and I would be very brief, touching on the key developments. As at last year, we met in 2023, and to date, I will be giving you bits of updates of whatever that we've gone through. It's been a very challenging year, as I've said before, because if you are working with executives that are kind of also super challenged in their respective institutions, combining both professional and then also professional activities with association activities and many other engagements, it sometimes becomes very, very difficult for us to make key roles. But I must acknowledge that through all the difficulties, the governing board have been very, very supportive all these years and stood firm to ensure that the association are well represented wherever and whenever necessary in any forum of interest. Importantly, I must say that executive-wise, we currently have almost 3 persons, 2 persons actually bowed out of the executives along the way because of also some because of ill health issues, and then others because of engagement in other important activities. And then importantly also, just most recently, one of our executives also have to begin her academic activity outside the country. But in all this, she had been very supportive in bringing us this far. We worked without our substantive General Secretary, who was ably replaced and supported to get this work done by our PRO and currently our acting Secretary General, who is Ms. Senam Klomega. She's been very, very, very supportive, combining academic work, professional work, and everything to get us this far. Again, also, we've had our student rep also bowing out at some point due to ill health. And the lean executives we've had still stood the test of time. And I would want to appreciate all of them for their immense contribution in bringing GAND this far. We set for ourselves from 2020 to 2025 to improve our professional visibility, to improve on our quality assurance and professional integrity, to improve on infrastructural development, governance, and accountability systems, GAND's autonomy, and then also professional excellence, and then also professional development and empowerment. I must first remind us of who we are and what we pride ourselves in before I go to the various aspects to talk about them. Our vision is to represent and develop nutrition and dietetics profession to contribute towards achieving optimal nutrition for all Ghanaians and to provide the most credible source of nutrition and food information as applied to health and diseases in Ghana. And our mission is to ensure the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics lives as a progressive organization which promotes a supportive environment by providing dynamic professional services responsive to the needs of members who are committed to promoting high standards of nutrition and dietetics in Ghana. If I read this to all of us, then we have a question to ask ourselves, coming this far in our strategic plan, whether we have been able to live to our vision and to our mission. And I would say that largely we have made a huge impact in that divide. But that is not to say that we have arrived, because there is quite a lot of hurdles that we need to climb. Currently, we are battling with the classifications that we have been placed in within the professional categories, recategorization based on the LI that is being developed by the Allied Health, trying to separate nutrition into clinical, where dietetics falls under clinical, and nutrition falls under public health. So in terms of professional specific division, that is what they intend to do. We have written to inform them of our stance and the problems that this is likely to cause in years to come. But they seem adamant, just because some persons have also managed to go behind whatever that we are standing for, and the Allied Council think it is better to listen to them than to us. That is how I interpret it to be. And our response will definitely go back to the Allied Health Council. Importantly, when it comes to professional visibility, the association have consistently worked on improving its public relations and communication. And you could see, even though our PRO is currently the acting Secretary General, she has ably supported that. And quite a lot of information has been shared on various platforms that we have, both our WhatsApp platforms, our Facebook, and all we have been able to live to that. Importantly, we had quite a number of challenges with our website, but that has also been resolved, and at least we are making inroads on that. So in our professional visibility, as far as the information technology space of it, we are, of course. Nutrition advocacy and apologetics, we have, in a way, been able to join hands where necessary with people who matter to push in for important policies. Importantly, what addresses the food environment. GAN had been actively involved during the World Food Summit, the planning, engagement on the food system dialogue and all that. GAN had been very, very much involved. Again, also, a number of members are serving on some of the technical committees for the Healthier Diet for Healthier Life program, which is also working towards the establishment of fiscal policies to address our food environment, most importantly on food labeling and then food front of pack labeling and all have we. We currently also pursuing a grant with Send Ghana and the Ghana NCD Alliance seeking for the Gaia Fund to push for the implementation of a front of pack policy, front of pack labeling policy for Ghana. Branding, I think our colors speaks for itself, our logo speaks for itself. And at least since the past 5 years, we've not had anybody challenge us as to ownership or our logo being misused in any way where it has not received the requisite approval. Physical presence, we are at the University of Ghana. We are still at the University of Ghana biochemistry block. And we hope we would be able to find ourselves a physical space there, but we largely maintain our online presence. And I think members are able to reach us in various ways through our WhatsApp, through our emails, through our phone networks. And I think that it's in part saved us a lot of cost in terms of what goes into renting physical space and all that. Going forward, if virtual offices would be good and would be cost effective, I would still go in for that. But of course, we also need places and spaces to transact business and all that. But largely, quite a number of organizations are working on virtual offices at the moment. And it's something we should think about. When it comes to quality assurance and professional integrity, we were able to work on our ethics and code of conduct. And currently, the Allied Council wants to do something specific for all professional bodies under that. And the last time they made a request, we have sent them what we have pre-developed. The scope of practice and standard of practice, these are also things that have been discussed and are at various stages of its development. And I believe the head of standards is with us, and I'm sure he may make a word or two on that. Interestingly, he is also currently contesting for the next leadership. And I think that these would be something that he would ensure that is done. When it comes to professional development and empowerment, you agree with me that GAN has done a lot in terms of conferences since the past years when we were confirmed as leaders. The past 3 years has been very, very, very effective in terms of the organization of trainings. GAN had done quite a number of trainings, not just on its members also, but we've extended some of our trainings to journalists and all and what have you. in building capacity for advocacy in nutrition. We've also were able to do the GAND conference, this time for the first time, physical. We did a physical and a bit of a hybrid sort, but we were able to bring over 300 people together in Kumasi for our conference. And I believe that the next conference, we should be targeting 1,000. Seminars, we have also engaged in various seminars, both presenting to our own members and then to other institutions. Webinars, we have also been very effective in doing that. Our major challenge at the moment is the competing programs that are happening by para organizations who are delving much into nutrition issues, and members, I don't know, partly due to cost, may want to go the other way other than supporting GAND's professional development programs. But importantly, I must say that members have done so well in the sense that our professional development programs have been well attended. I think I'm not too sure we've had a program that we had less than 50 participants attended. It had always been above 50 and most of the times in the hundreds, which is very, very good. On professional excellence, we were able to provide our first award last year during the COND to one of our dedicated members in their area of work. For research and development and innovations, these are areas that we have a long way to go. We established the Committee for Research and Development. We are yet to receive a tentative plan for our research and development activities. But it is something that we need to keep a very strong focus on, because our vision was to create, to look within this Ghanaian space to see the challenges that has to do with evidence that relates to nutrition, for us to then put them up as key agendas which we will encourage our members to research into, and possibly look for some support, funding support to support some of these things, either in schools or open it up for members to apply for and win something small to pursue some of these. And it's something that I strongly believe that we have to develop. And it's something I would happily engage in heavily when I step down as a president, to push for us to get this research and development space of GAND firmly established. Importantly, on infrastructure, we have had several discussions about our permanent office location and a future to have a GAND complex where we can always come to have our AGMs, do so many programs, and of course also to serve as a means of funds generation. And this we can only do if everybody is on board. If I look at the last presentation my vice president did, that looked at the nutrition professionals that are in Ghana, which were over thousands who have been trained in Ghana. Assuming we get every one of us making a small token of contribution, we can raise substantial money to start and to develop a complex. Currently, we earmarked the monies that were to come from our old organizations, being dietetics, which was about 17,000 Ghana cedis from dietetics and 34,000 cedis from the Nutrition Association, to be used to be more of a seed money if we are able to find any physical location to purchase, but we've not yet been able to land on one. So we've rather decided to invest that money until we find a space for that. Again, on governance and accountability, we have an administrator and then we have a secretariat which runs our affairs. We still having a volunteer manning the administrative space for us. Currently, she's gotten employed, and she has still volunteered to assist. There is quite a lot that she has learned over the years, and letting her go becomes a bit of a challenge for us, but we ought to initiate a mechanism to get a replacement for her, which she has to train the person over some months before she could finally hand over. But if she has the ability to continue, I think that would also be very excellent. For corporate and social responsibility, I think in that space, we've done something, but not so much of we intentionally getting some acts done. Last year, I think I pushed a bit on the buttons of the various zonal groups to ensure that at least within the GAND week, they could organize some bit of screening exercises in their respective regions, just to also provide some services from what we are able to do to the public. But I believe just a few were able to live up to that. But in terms of nutrition education, I think that we have made quite a lot of impact. During our nutrition week, quite a lot of information had been shared online, and some forums opened up for many people to benefit from our nutrition education. On resource mobilization and financing, it had never been easy for us, but at least I must say that a few people that we counted on had shown some love. In our last conference at KNUSC, we got WFP for the first time to get such organizations to be of service to us, and we are so much appreciative of their effort. There are other organizations that have supported us just in kind, in a way that they open up space for us to find our feet when we need to meet the people who matter. And I would, at this point, really, really appreciate the Kufuor Foundation for being there for GAND right from day one, giving us some platforms to acquaint ourselves with people who matter in this space of work. They were those who led us to be able to connect with the First Lady's office and many other activities that GAND had been engaging. The foundation has been very supportive, and we appreciate their support towards us. The First Lady's office also showing up in important programs of GAND, and also it must be well acknowledged in whatever that we are doing. Of course, I also appreciate the efforts and little supports that come from GAND members themselves. A lot of people have worked for GAND virtually for free. And it's the kind of work they've done for us is something that we cannot quantify if they were to charge us consultancy hours. You know, we were able to work on our meeting to discuss the education, the nutrition and dietetics curriculum and all that. And we got eminent professors in this country to join these discussions, and they took nothing from us. Professor Muna, Professor Zotto, Prof. Aite, Prof. Analate, Prof. Steiner, the list is endless. Prof. Ai from the north has always been on our neck in many things, trying to push us forward. And these they've done without taking anything from GAND. And these are also part of the resources we need to strongly acknowledge. Wise Lecha and his company have supported GAND activities almost all the time, right from the inception till now. And we are very, very, very grateful for all these services that have come our way. Importantly, if we look at GAND's autonomy, we at least have been able to credential almost all our we've been able to credential our members, and I know that processes are also in place for new members who have joined, who have not yet been credentialed, to be credentialed. Our standard operating procedures have been looked at, and professional specialization and regulations is a part that we need to work at. Most importantly, if I look at what is happening in the Allied Health Council, we need to engage more, and we need to stand up as a body against anything that would derail the growth of nutrition and dietetics in the country. It's just unfortunate that sometimes when we even call meetings, very few people want to show up here and there. Look, we are not an island. We need many others to survive. You may be working on big research projects, and you may be fine financially. But remember that we are one in a whole profession, and our contributions to ensuring that as a professional body, we stand right and stronger, it will go in our favor in many ways. And we should, in any day, push to attain that. I must say that GAND over the years have also gained let's say, the acceptance of many other space, both in Ghana and out of Ghana. Currently, we are all aware that the African Nutrition Conference is on our laps. This is due to our hard work that has proven our capability of doing many things more than just organizing local conferences. This conference, I must remind you, is a conference for the entirety of Africa, and we have a lot of global partners also joining in. So it's going to put us also on a different space altogether. GAND successfully also went through the first phase of expression of interest to host the IUNS conference for the first time. For the second space in Africa, and because I know South Africa has done so before. And it's very, very important and very crucial for us. And our performance at ANEC would be one of the key platforms we would step on to annex the next IUNS conference. Importantly, we were selected out of the 4 that were shortlisted to make a full proposal for the bid, which if we are lucky to be shortlisted, we are to go and defend that in Paris. And I have a strong hope that Ghana would get the nod to host the next IUNS conference. And if we would be able to do that, then the collective support of every one of us is very, very much needed in this work. Importantly, as I said, we have not just IUNS, we have the FANUS, which is the Federation of African Nutrition Society, who have also acknowledged our efforts and all that we do in the space. We have been looking forward to register also with the dietetics, the Global Dietetics Network, and it's something that I know that we're taking quite a lot of steps, and we would definitely also be accredited in that space. So currently, GAND is an adhering member of the International Nutrition Society, International Union of Nutrition, and then also part of an adhering member to the FANUS, which is the Federation of African Nutrition Society. And these giant bodies are well represented with GAND. And importantly, I must say that GAND has fulfilled all our financial responsibilities towards these organizations. And that is why when members are applying for conferences and applying for funding and all that, we always get the opportunity to get 1 or 2 people getting funded to go to their program because we have paid. And so your dues that you pay do a lot, and your commitment to GAND must go much more than we are holding on at the moment. I would say that from the year 2022, which you gave us the nod, 2023, 2024, 2019 to 2024, which you gave us the nod, we have held the fort, and we have worked towards ensuring that our space, our visibility, and our integrity as a professional body has been kept. We have been able to renew our license as a professional body in Ghana, and you could find when the Registry General released the list of registered professional bodies in Ghana, you saw GAND's name right in there. We've also been able to fulfill our tax obligations to the state, and we've also been able to get our financials audited. What is left to be audited is our financials from our last, for this year, which also steps are being put in place to get that also audited. So I believe that when we meet at ANEC, we will bring you all the financial issues that are governing our work, and importantly, the audited financial statement for this year in perspective. I would like to thank you all for the commitment and support in moving GAND forward. Thank you. Over
Thank
to
you very
you,
much.
Madam Mims.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prof. for the address. I believe we can have some 1 or 2 questions or comments from members before we call on the next we call for the next presentation. So the floor is open. If we have any questions, if we have any comments, kindly raise your hand and I'll give you a call so you can ask your question or give your comments. Thank you. All right, RDF4, Isaac, kindly unmute and ask your questions.
Mine is not a question, but I want to commend the executives because you've really done a yeoman's job. I just had a little taste when helping to organize the conference, and I could tell the number of hours that you had to give in to plan before it even got to our doorstep. We are grateful for all the effort that you've put in and being pace setters in terms of the executive body of GAND. And I know the blood and the sweat you've put in GAND will not go to waste. Thank you so much.
Thank you, RD, for your
Thank
kind
you.
words.
Yeah, so grateful for, and I think I must mention of the immense support that your team in Kumasi gave us to ensure that we had a very successful conference. Interestingly, I've heard from many people who attended the conference still really marvel at how well this conference went. And so thanks and congratulations to your team as well.
Okay, Presido, we have a question from Kofi Akins. He says, thank you, Prof. Please, could you throw more light on the AHPC action to separate nutrition and dietetics?
Okay. So we receive some information to work on. If my advice is here, he will speak much better to it than himself. But we receive an information from AP on the LI that is being prepared for the allied health profession in general. And they had created varied categories where they have separated the professions in the allied health professions to let's say 2 key professional groups. One is the clinical, and then the other is public health. And interestingly, you have dietetics being put in the clinical group, but being given a space to have a professional specific group only for dietetics. Then you have a professional specific group that they will be requiring of public health, which is made up of 4 different disciplines, or 5. Environmental health, health promotion, and some others I don't have all of head, and then nutrition. As these are the professions that have been grouped, which means that all these 5 different disciplines are going to have just one professional group. And the planning and what they intend to do with this is to probably develop just a one-fit curriculum where these are likely to follow. And that is just one bit of what they intend doing at the moment. But besides that, from where we we fit within these professional groups, it is not going to give us the space to fully develop what we intend to do in terms of the promotion, in terms of the academic progression and development of the discipline of nutrition in the country. If we look at the consultations that were done on our curriculum development, for example, we're looking at a holistic curriculum where professionals will be developed in the space of nutrition and dietetics, to the extent that at the end of their training, the varied links would be established based on the specialization each group may go, either nutrition or dietetics. But then we would have a core base of training where each and every professional that is developed more as a nutrition and dietetics professional, rather than a dietetics and then a nutrition, looking at the harmonies that exist within these disciplines within the health profession or the health space. What is happening within the allied health space is just trying to box people in space without looking at the implications of the progression and development of these varied disciplines. And that is where we have a major challenge. If my vice is online, probably he can throw more light, because I've been working on this space. Percy. Okay.
Okay.
Sanam, is there
Yes,
any?
there are no questions. So Josephine, your comments will be addressed soon. It's one of the presentations we have for today, so you will be addressed very soon. Okay, thank you. Please, any more comments, any more questions? Okay, so there's a question from Aliyu Tijani Jibril. Dear President, thank you for highlighting the work of the GAND Research and Development Unit. If someone is interested in joining this unit to contribute to its project, what is the possibility of getting involved, and what steps should they take to become a part of this team?
Okay, I think persons who are interested could send their information to the Secretariat. We will reach out to the person and see how we can connect with the person to look at the various teams we may want to work.
From Prof.
Yeah, hello.
He says, yes, I heard that. I believe the member also heard. Yes. So Prof. Ayu, says, bravo, a well-articulated presentation. Kudos to you and the supportive executives. Well done. Thank you, Prof. Yes. So I think, thank you, Prof, for the presentation. I believe as we are still on, if members would want to ask questions or give comments, they'll put them in the chat, or they would hold on till the open forum session, then we would answer more of the questions.
Yeah.
So I think I can call
Lukman is asking whether GAND have any specialist interest group. not too clear about what he means by specialist interest group. If he can throw more light to it, we would reply him in the text.
Okay. So, Reverend Asiedu, please, if you are on and ready, I believe you can also share your screen and then get on with your presentation. So he is going to take us through the differences between, or the importance or the need to be credentialed as a member of the professional body. Yes. So Reverend Bedu, if you are on, the team is ready for you.
Thank you very much, Sanam. Thank you, Prof. Ekun, for detailed overview given to the current GB, what you have led us to do till now. I think looking at the strategic plan, when all the things were happening, it's as though we were not looking at the plan, but everything is inside. God bless you, and thank you for your leadership. My duty is simple and short. I will not take my time. I will draw our attention to two key documents that every professional in Ghana, including the nutrition and dietetic professional, must know. And why is it important for us to, first of all, be in a professional body, and second of all, to be under the regulatory ambit of your regulatory body. So just a moment. Okay. So I'll first of all speak of the Act 2013-857 Allied Health Council Act. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. So until 2013, allied health practitioners, which are more than the other professions, like the medical profession, the dentists, like the nurses and the psychologists and all that. They passed this act in 2013 to consolidate regulation for all professions. So whereas we have only two professions in the medical fraternity, that's in the medical officers and the dental officers, only two of them in one regulatory council. Then we have the nurses and midwives in one regulatory council. And we have the psychologists, the industrial and clinical practitioners in one regulatory council. Allied health professions, which are a lot, but now anytime you count, the next time you go, you are adding another. So all allied health professionals are under one council as well. So dietetics, nutrition, health control, the physiotherapists, speech therapists, and a lot more of the council, the professions categorized under allied health are all regulated by one body. So when Presido was talking about the autonomy, it's our hope that as we build ourselves and we grow, become many, and our structures are well established, just as it is in other countries. So we have, in our case in Ghana, is unique. So we have the regulatory councils, different from the professional groups. So you have, as I'll come to very soon, you have the GAND as a professional group, and we have the AHPC as a regulatory body. So in other jurisdictions, you have the regulatory body as part of the professional group. So you don't have your name in two registers, but our case is a bit different. So when you look at the objective of the council, Allied Health Council, so the objective is to ensure that higher standards in the practice of our various professions are met. So higher standards in the practice of nutrition, higher standard in the practice of dietetics. So when you look at this regulation, it means that anybody who have or who has an intention, who has trained and has an intention to use his training to practice their profession. So the person has trained as a nutritionist, the person has trained in dietetics as a dietitian. If the person did not just do the training to do another thing, but want to practice as a dietitian or as a nutritionist, then the person is supposed to be regulated by the council. So that is the key function of AHPC. That's how come every year we see that we are talking about renewal of PIN. The key objective of that is to ensure that those who have registered with the council and the council has admitted them as the appropriate professionals to practice their said professions are still maintaining the standards they had at the time of registration. So that is how come every year you'd have to go and present your credentials to say, yes, I'm still practicing, I am up to date, I have done the necessary trainings, and I'm practicing in Ghana, I will be able to continue practice. So that is regulation. Regulation. So key aspect of Allied Health Council's work is to regulate our work, to regulate us. So you realize that sometimes we get questions. Allied Health Council has been taking monies and always for us to renew our things, but they are not giving us work. So if you look at the act, actually, Allied Health Council does not directly give people work. But what they do is that if Ministry of Health, and because it is by law that everybody who practices the profession must be regulated and must have been in the register of the regulator, anybody who is employed in the public service, and even now, at first the private people were not really bothered, but now even the private, they would want to be sure whether you are regulated. So that when maybe there's a swoop or there's an inspection in the private company, they will not say they have employed people illegally. So it is important that whether the work has come or is yet to come, or whether you have been working already and you don't have, your name is not in the registers of the Allied Health Council, it is in your own interest and the interest of the profession to ensure that you have your name as part of the professional register with the regulator. Because when touch wood, nothing will happen, but when something happens to you in the line of duty and legal issues come up, it's like driving without a driver's license. If you haven't had any accidents, you are okay. when there's a problem with the car, even to assess your insurance, they will ask you, is he a licensed driver? And that is where the problems begin. So it is important, and it is for the safety, credibility, and integrity of the practitioner, of the dietitian, of the nutritionist, to ensure that your name is in the register. We realized that when Allied Health started, especially in our profession, nutrition and dietetics, because dietetics had, the training had just started, and the most of trainees right from the onset were geared to the hospital. No one could have worked in the hospital without being licensed. So almost all dietitians registered and have their names in the register with the council. And you know that we have several institutions that are training nutritionists, and not all the nutritionists find themselves in the Ministry of Health. Others go to industry and all that. But as per the act, the law, where you would want to practice the nutrition is not the issue. But once you decide to practice nutrition, then your name must be in the register of your regulator. So we've seen that over the years, there has been back and forth. Some people have not registered with the council. And I think GAND has done a lot to bring a lot of people on board to get them to be part of the register of the regulator. And I know many more nutritionists especially are yet to be on the register. And it is our work as a professional body. And when I come there, we'll get to know what the professional body as GAND can do to make sure that there's harmony, a rightful harmony between the professions and their regulators. So that is what I will say about the Allied Health Council. So for now, GAND, we have quite a number of nutritionists that are yet to be on the register, and that is what all of us as a profession must work together with the leadership to be able to ensure that the regulation is done, so that we are safe legally. Then whatever and wherever we practice, we will not be looking backwards. So this is where I'll put. There are a lot of things, the Allied Health Council, the Constitution, and all that, but the key thing they do is to regulate us, and that is what I've tried to summarize and explain. I will now go to just a minute. I'll now come to the professional bodies. So by law, so this one, we just finished the Act 857, the Health Professions Regulatory Bodies Act of 2013. So that's what we just spoke about. Then we have this NRCD 143, Professional Bodies Registration Act 1973. It's also very crucial for all of us as practitioners to know this. So if you can see my screen, you will see that a professional body established in the Republic of Ghana shall be registered in accordance with this act. It means that no people can, or no group of people can just put themselves together and say, we are a professional group. That may be the nutritionists and dietitians in Tema General or at Kolebu will just come together and say, oh, we have formed our professional group. No. If any such must happen, it must be in accordance to the act. So you must apply to the Registrar General, and the Registrar General must look at your application and accept you and approve and create a register for you. So we know that a professional body registered under this act is a body corporate by virtue of registration and shall have perpetual succession, may sue and be sued, may acquire, hold, dispose, immovable. So President was talking about the future of getting our land as big as possible to create our GAND village for ourselves, so we can use it for our own purposes and for commercial purposes as well. Because of our registration, we are able to do that. We are able to enter into contracts and collaborations with inside and outside organizations that meet our purposes. So this is how our the professional body is framed or constituted, right? And the professional body, now we only do a bit of the second part, provision of education and training. The provision of education and training for the purposes of qualification. So you will see that if Allied Health Council, who is our regulator, want to go and inspect any school or any institution who want to run a nutrition program or a dietetics program, you will see that they will write to the GAND. They will write to GAND for us to provide that expertise for them. So the GAND will give experts to go with them to look at the place and say that, yes, as per our requirement, whatever they are going to teach, they have what it takes to teach or train. So it is for the professional body to determine. That is how come President spoke about the fact that we had to deliberate on the way forward on the training of nutrition and dietetics in Ghana. It is in the sphere of the professional body to look at the trends and the future of the profession and what must be part or what must be within to for everybody who want to or potential to practice that profession to know, to be included in the curricula of training. So provision of training, it's a mandate of the professional body. That is how come GAN can actually have an issue if anybody who is purporting to train people in dietetics and nutrition is doing otherwise, is offering trainings that are not according to standard. GAN has an issue. GAN can take the people on, can write to the regulatory bodies and protest so that the right thing will be done, or the person's accreditation could be suspended. So this is what the power of coming together as professionals does. So when we are together, sometimes individuals will complain, oh, this is happening here, that is happening there. There's nothing the professional group can do if the professional group is not together. So we can have professionals. Some people say, well, once I've registered with Allied Health, I don't need to be part of a professional body. Allied Health does not do what professional bodies do. They only regulate. Professional bodies are the footwork. We do the footwork. The professional bodies are those who know they are the groups that know what the practitioners need and push and fight for it. At the regulatory level, like you realized, the president was talking about a decision that has been made by the regulator that the professional body is not in agreement with. So the professional body will have other avenues to push for our concerns to be addressed. So that is what, and I want us to know. Let's go down to the make of the professional body. So we have, you see the GAN, we have our governing board, we have so in this case, the general secretary will be maybe, let's say, a registrar or something, and all of us, we govern ourselves with regulations. So the law allows us to have regulations. That's why we have our disciplinary code of conduct. We have our standard of operation and all that that we have developed. A few of them are left to be completed. So I want us to look at Just a minute. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, so when you look at 7, the point 7, the registrar shall, subject to this act, register a professional body applying for registration if satisfied regarding the body's compliance with the requirement of section 5, like we have read already. Then the registrar shall publish in the Gazette notice of a registration affected under the act. So President spoke about the fact that when the Gazette was published, GAND featured prominently. So it means that all legal hurdles we have to cross to attain the status of a professional body, we have done that. And that if you're a member of GAND, you are a duly registered professional. That is how come GAND is able to issue certificate of credential to say that you are a registered nutritionist, you are a registered dietitian, you are an associate member of GAND, you are a student member of GAND. All those activities of GAND is by law. And if you are traveling or you are doing a presentation somewhere and anybody doubts your authenticity as a professional, you can use these insignias. No, we give lapels, we give certificates. Yesterday, I met one GAND member who was returning from a consultation with a GAND lapel at the breast, and I was so proud. So there are a lot of things we can do as a professional body, but then we must make sure that we are standing securely and we are grounded. The law backs the professional body. And if you look at it, if you go down, you realize that the minimum number the Registrar General will even consider to register a group of people who want to be professional is 50. It must be a minimum of 50. And by God's grace, the time that we were registering were less. Now we are over 300. We hope that will be 3,000 soon. And the more stronger we become, the larger the number. Then the talk of autonomy would also come. That will be later. Autonomy, we mean you are a professional body and you're a regulator at the same time. So the regulation and the professional certification is done together as it is in other places. Okay. Anybody who is a professional is enjoined by this act to register. Just a moment. Good. Just a moment, please. My computer is a little full. Okay, so 17. When we look at point 17, very, very, very important. It says, a person who is admitted or enrolled as or otherwise accepted to be a member of a registered professional body is entitled to be registered in the register in respect of that professional body on the production of the registrar of a certificate issued on the register of a certificate issued by the registered professional body. So you may have finished nutrition, you may have finished dietetics, you may have received license as from the regulator that you are a professional that is being regulated, but you are only registered as a professional by the professional body. So the register at the AHPC is for regulation. And the register with GAND is for professional registration. So when you have finished dietetics and you have written your licensure and you have a license with, or your name is in the dietetics register with Allied Health, you are not a registered dietitian. You are only a registered dietitian if you are registered by your professional body. You are not a registered nutritionist. You are only a registered nutritionist if you are registered by your professional body. These are very important. So that, and I think it is clear to us by now, because if you are not part of the professional body, you do two things. You weaken the prospect of your own profession. And number two, you are like a tree whose roots are hanging in the air. You don't have a base. It is the professional body that is supposed to nourish the profession for the profession to grow. So anybody who is a nutritionist and really want nutrition profession to grow must be desirous and must be passionate about being part of a professional body. Because no other body does what the law has given to the professional bodies to. So maybe if you are on the call and you are yet to be to receive your credential, please take advantage of the announcement that is out now and apply so that you get your credential certificate and your professional pins to give you the pride of place of being part of the profession you so profess. And that one is very, very important. So it is by law that if you are a professional, unless maybe you finish school and you say you want to be a banker after you have done nutrition, maybe you want to move into, even if you want to go into Ghana Education Service to go and teach, and you are going to teach nutrition, then you would have to make sure you are part of the nutrition professional, the professions. It is very important. You have to make sure that you are part of GAND so that you will be nourished by your mother body. Look at the point 3 of 17. A person shall not practice a profession in respect of which a professional body has been registered under this act, unless that person has been duly registered under this section. So right now, the professional body for nutrition and dietetics in Ghana, for all dietitians, for all nutritionists, is GAND. So by law, if you want to practice as a dietitian, you want to practice as a nutritionist, you must be part of GAND. And I think we have seen the benefits. That when we are part, we grow ourselves, we become strong, and we are able to make sure that our profession operates according to the trends or the current trends of practice. And also, we can have a say. And when we speak, our voice is taken seriously because we have a legal backing, legal grounds. Now, so if Allied Health Allied Health Professions Council does not directly give jobs, that's the professional body give jobs. So it is the whole idea about the professional body. Why are we together as professionals? So that we can know our own problems and solve them. So the professional body, yes, give jobs by enhancing, providing. We will hear that, oh, there's an opportunity here. Let's come, let's bring ourselves together. How many people are having issues? Let's see how to solve it. Okay, there's an opportunity of starting your own business here. How can we create the enabling environment for you? Are there regulatory issues the professional body must fight for? That is what the professional body does, so that the enabling environment is created for the profession to thrive. I know that one of the issues about GAND has been, GAND, you have been talking that we should register, you are not giving us jobs. It's been, if you listen to what the president said, a lot of foundational work had to be done. so that we can gain prominence. So when you sit in front of a minister of education, minister of health, you sit in front of the minister of finance, they know who is sitting there. So if the professional body is not strong, if you go to the minister and you are talking to the minister has a background information, oh, these professionals, they're professionals, they are only 250 in their professional group, they will ignore you because there are other professions that are in their thousands. So when we say GAND should give us work, what we are saying is that we should give ourselves work. So the one who is not working must join GAND. The one who is working must join GAND. So that we become a lot. Then when we are many, our force alone can get a lot of opportunities for us. So the first question is, be part of GAND. The second question is, be very committed to GAND. The third is, make sure that GAND works. Once these three things are done, all the others, including getting opportunities, getting access, getting work to do, and all that will follow. So, my dear colleagues, my job is cut out for me. I'm supposed to explain to the House the credentialing processes of GAND as a professional body, and also the licensing as done by our regulatory body, that is AHPC. I want to wrap up here and say that AHPC regulates the professionals who are in a profession called GAND, so that the profession is supposed to look at our own issues and solve them. And when we need help, we seek for places that we can get help to solve our own problem and make sure that our profession grows and becomes well acceptable or accepted in the local sphere and in the international sphere as well. Thank you very much. Over, Senam.
Thank you very much, Reverend Bailey, for the presentation, and thank you for highlighting the importance of being part of the professional bodies. I'm not sure if you shared this document with members. If we've not, I believe it would be good if we can get it to members so they would also read, and if they have any concerns, they can also reach out. So if you can kindly post it in the chat for us, or you can share it with me. So once we are done, I could also forward to members. Yes, thank you.
Sure. I'll do it in the chat box and forward them to you as well. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. Okay, so dear members, the floor is open. I think I'll start with a comment from Anthony Ayanga. He's saying that, can the AHPC have a second look into the renewal fee for unemployed members? Could it be lowered for employed members, or better still, exempting them from the default penalty? Can you imagine someone who is not employed and has been struggling to even feed, being able to renew his or her license every year? Let's say if he or she is finally employed after 4 years, would have to pay 4 years accumulated renewal fees with a penalty. That should be a worry to them, my thinking though. So, Reverend Bedu, do you have any comments on this? Though this is directed to HPC, I believe, as chair of practice standards and accreditation, you would have some thoughts on this that you could share, and maybe the incoming chair could also take that up as well. Thank you.
Okay, I think what I can say is that we have something. In fact, this concern has been raised before. The time I think I was part of the profession specific committee, and at the Allah Health Council will tell you, oh, it's fees and charges we send to Parliament. Parliament has approved, and once if we want it changed, it must be by amendment. A lot of legal issues. So that is where the profession comes in big. If we are a strong profession and our numbers are huge and it counts, when ourselves, maybe with the lab, with physio, like we do, there are a lot of background work that is done by the federation. Then the pressure can make them do some amendments at the next window of amendments to the fees and charges. But as it is now, they charge these things by law, and they will always hide behind the law to tell you that they will break the law if they don't implement that. So yes, it's an issue. It's a dicey one. At the least opportunity, I think the professional body GAND will raise it again. Raise it until enough pressure is out for them to see whether the review will be done to help those who are unable to pay. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Please, one comment from the chat before I call those who raise their hands. Yes, so Emanuela wants to know if the criteria for credentialing can be explained further, because if, for example, I wrote my licentiate last year, how much am I supposed to pay? So I believe this has to do with what if she has done she's written her licentiate last year. Is she going to be inducted, or she's going to just be credentialed? That is also another part. Yes, Reverend Leader, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the profession or the professional body we want to make for ourselves and the prestige we want to create for ourselves, every professional body worth its salt will have induction for their newly qualified members. The architects do it, the engineers, the doctors, the lawyers. So once you have passed licensure, the next big event for you is for you to be inducted. Those who were inducted in at the last year's con in KNUST, the ceremony was very, very, very flowery and nice. So it is something that every GAND professional, every the body nutritionists who have qualified to be members, full members, must look forward to. When you finish your service and you write your licentiate and you pass, the next thing you look up to is the big event of your induction. Now, maybe from 2019 up to 2019, if you didn't get to be inducted, we waived that, the governing board waived that last year. So if you have been practicing up to 2019 and you have not yet been inducted, we will just give you, you will not be part of that formal induction where we will take pictures, and sometimes if we plan and have a journalist there, have them on television or have them in graphic or something, you will get your credential as a registered nutritionist or as a registered dietitian, your credential certificate. Now, if you are now coming to be inducted, as we will do in Cape Coast in October, you will pay a flat rate of 100 cedis, but you need to make sure you are a member in good standing, which means that you need to register and pay your food dues, and you pay your 100 cedis, because the 100 cedis is going for your lapel, your certificate, which is a very high quality certificate we print for you, and the logistics that we put together for that day. It is always higher than the 100 cedis, but this time the governing board said that we recognize the situation, the economic situation and all that. So it has been put to 100 cedis. And for those who have been practicing up to 2019, who have not had your induction, who will be credentialed, you only pay 50 cedis. You only pay 50 cedis. That is if you are a member in good standing. You have to pay your food dues and pay the 50 cedis. So we'll do your credential certificate for you and also get your professional PIN as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Reverend Bedu. So we have 3 hands up, and I'll start with Mr. Lukman Hakim Mohammed. Kindly unmute and ask your question.
All right, hi. Mine is not really a question though, but just a way of encouraging members to register with GAND basically. So I'm not working in Ghana though. So far, what I've noticed is in other countries, it's not just required to have the license, but it should be registered with the professional body. So let me use the UK for example. A number of dietetics jobs, you are supposed to be registered with the ACPC and also be a member of the British Dietetic Association. Without that, you are just not qualified for the job. So if members would have to do so, I think as the time goes on, I'm hoping something of that sort will happen in Ghana, hopefully. So I would encourage members to be credentialed with GAND, and I'll also try to encourage GAND to work with AHPC to find a way of making that a possibility. Because if we look at other professions, they pay dues through their salaries. Salaries are dues are deducted from the salaries. So I don't know why it's not the same as GAND, if there could be a possible explanation on that. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for your encouragement to all members to join. Yes, so the last bit, payment of dues from source, we've been working on it, only that we didn't have the numbers. I think that Controller and Accountant General was looking for a minimum of 500 members to start with. And at the time that we were pushing, we were not up to 500. So we are hoping as we are generating a lot of interest and joining and registering, we'll be able to get that to that number. Then the numbers who are with Controller, the numbers who are with the various training institutions, we can speak to the accountants and they can deduct from source. It's not all professionals who are on the Controller and Accountant General payroll. Others are on different other payrolls. So it's a lot of work that the governing bodies has started, and we hope that as the numbers increase, we'll be able to cover all. Thank you. Over, Senator.
All right. Thank you very much. Prof. Aye, over to you.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Let me commend Prince, our aspiring president, for a job well done. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, please, you can.
Okay, thank you very much. Prince, I think, you have given a very thorough exposition of what is required of every member and what do you call it, qualifying member, specifically referring to our students and all the others who want to be associated with the nutrition and dietetic fraternity. I'm just hoping that, I don't know, I saw a hand extended to our students to join. Of course, they were informed that they cannot vote if they are not in good standing. But then I strongly believe that if students had joined, if they could join this particular and understand the underpinnings of all that is required of a nutritionist and a dietitian and so on, it will do them good. Besides that, in spite of that, I believe the recordings will be made available so that we'll post it on their platforms so that they can listen very well to all these explanations. Because I have personally been talking to a lot of them, especially those in UDS, to join to become members so that in future we can have a large number and then we can move forward and become autonomous and all that. We have talked about this, but I believe we'll get to that point, and then we'll be able to ensure that all these things happen to GAND. Now, my other issue is this, Prince. Some time ago, just not quite long ago, somewhere along the line, I think we're having our discussions when we were looking at the issue of the 6-year something program that we're supposed to start, instituting or get into. So the Allied Health Council was proposing that nutrition should, which is a public health science, should be brought under public health nutrition. Public health, because the thing is a public health science. We rejected it. I'm sure. We said no. We will not go to that. I don't know. You have any? Because I'm seeing some dichotomy coming in between nutrition and dietetics from the Allied Health Science. Is it something that they are poised to bring to pass, or we have a hand in ensuring that it doesn't happen? Maybe just throw a little light on that so that we know what we will do about it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. The matter, we have a huge cadre of trainees from the government institutions. So we have the Kintampo trained nutrition diplomates who are technical nutrition officers, who are a lot. There are many, and they have a group together with those who did the other public health courses. So they seem to have some bond as I start thinking through what is happening. And the idea of nutrition being under the public health register instead of it being together with dietetics there's a pull and push factor here. A huge group of people who actually, if we work hard, are supposed to be part of GAND, are also associated elsewhere, and they are also having different interests. So what I see is that, well, we have a lot of work to do. As Presido said, we have to be working at different fronts. Speak to the other, the various interest groups, explain how and why such a decision will not, in the long run, help the nutrition profession generally. So yes, the letter we have is that Allied Health is bent on pushing nutrition under the public health register. But I know there are other ways and redresses we can have as President intimated. So I think appropriately, when any of us is needed to help with the various things that are going on, Presido will reach out to us and we'll see what to do. Thank you very much. Over.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so Mr. Anthony Kula, please unmute and ask your question or give your comments.
Okay, so thank you, President Aspirant, for the elaborate explanation. Thank you very much for the work. Somehow, I felt that this issue of having a council to regulate us and we having a professional body, people still don't understand the difference. And maybe what is happening in the why is the medical and dental council it's a council, but it regulates them? Why do we have the nurses and midwifery as a council, and our own is an academy that we have to be regulated by Allied Health? I'm just thinking, what are the conditions involved in you becoming both a regulator and then the professional body? We need to look at that difference. I also think that we may have to explain explicitly to all members here to understand why public health, nutrition should not be put under public health, why it should be put under clinical. We may have differences. People may decide to do clinical nutrition and may be practicing in the hospital. Somebody may do nutrition and be practicing in the public health. So is it possible for it to appear in the two places, or it must necessarily belong to just one? And what are the advantages and disadvantages in belonging to one or belonging to the two? And I think if all of us here get to understand it, we'll all fight our cause. Other than that, you will get to understand that a lot of the people that are in the government sector that are nutritionists, actually in the organogram of the Ghana Health Service in particular, the nutrition is kept under public health. And so it will be difficult if we don't really speak out why we think that they are disadvantaged putting them under public health and what are the benefits in putting them under clinical care. We need to be clear, or we need to say that, okay, nutrition is a dual course. You can be under public health and you can be under clinical. We have departments under Ghana Health Service that operates in both clinical and public health. The laboratory scientists are both, when we are going for clinical meetings, they are there. When we are going for public health meetings, they are there because they cut across. So if we want to talk about nutrition, we need to be clear. What are the disadvantages in putting them under public health? What are the advantages in putting them under clinical care? And what are the advantages in making sure that we put them under the two? So that we all understand. Other than that, some people already have taken sides, and we don't really know why some people think that it should be here. So we need to explain clearly for people to understand, and we all do the bidding and do the writing. Other than that, this fight will continue, and the unity that we are looking for, we may not get it, and then we may not be able to achieve the goal that we want to achieve. So over.
Hello.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Madam Sanam,
Yes,
with your
we will
permission.
Yes, okay.
Yes, I may just want to say a few things. I see the last two there. I think you add up to it. I think the one who just asked the last question gave a very important statement at the end. Nutrition cannot be boxed under clinical, neither can it be boxed under public health. It's a broad spectrum of activity. And that is why we are basically saying that it would be best to exist as we have proposed it. The nutrition and dietetic fraternity can be together and grow in a better space than it being categorized into this or that. Because even if you take dietetics, we have also public health dietetics. Or we have what we call community dietetics. If people think that dietetics is just a clinical thing, it's unfortunate that nutrition has just found its space just within health, and then people are talking about it as if it is just a health alone subject. It's a far broader subject than just being in health. Nutrition can find its way to several disciplines in any way. Importantly, what we are saying here, maybe people are just looking at a myopic view of this whole thing, looking at it that, oh, okay, if nutrition is added to dietetics, it will be a clinical thing or that. And that is what we want to avoid from this act right from the beginning. They are just partitioning the programs into clinical and then what do you call it? But even in allied health profession per se, the space is way beyond us just looking at it as a clinical program or a whatever clinical program. Each of the disciplines must have the strength to grow. And if you look at the professional specific bodies that have been set up, that, like I said earlier, dietetics will have its own professional specific body, although it is grouped under clinical care. But from the way it has been put there, nutrition will end up only having one professional specific body, which will be made up of environmental, this and that and that. And you lose the essence of building the program along line nutrition. Every time it will be a discussion of a general thing, public health. And this is what has happened to nutrition over the years. And we are not even, Ghana is not having the full effect of nutrition. Nutrition started from the presidency. Now it came as a sector within the ministry, and then it was further collapsed and put now as a unit. And we currently don't know exactly who actually is having an overarching governance of nutrition. So we need to look at these things from a broader perspective than our own myopic sense of, oh, we are doing health promotion, so we belong to public health. What about the other nutritionists who are into clinical care? Where do we put them? So these are the areas we need to think broadly along and not allow any boxing of things when the boxing will not help. After all, quite a lot of things are quite horizontal in perspective. And for a long time, we've worked in silos, having straight jacket thing, vertical programming, and this has not helped us. And this is what the Act seems to do. And I think improving that right from the word go, keeping nutrition and dietetics together and building the structures around it would be much better than we being separated and put in different acts of service. I think my vice is there. He has been following the issues quite keenly, so he may add up to that.
Yes. Good afternoon, colleagues and friends. Please, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
you are clear, loud and clear.
Thank you. Thank you. So just to add a few words to what President Preku just said. I agree. I can understand I'm going to use the word acrimony that this conversation tends to bring. But let's look at the overall picture rather than the present tense or the present situation. Nutrition in its rightful placement is not a health profession only. Nutrition is a cross-cutting subject. And so the proper place for nutrition is, as it were, an authority by itself or a council by itself. In fact, and better, even a council is still not enough to appropriately classify nutrition, because nutrition is in every other aspect of existence. Health is in agri, it's in health, it's in technology, it's everywhere. Now, so if over time, and President Preku made reference to it, in the early 50s, when the late President Nkrumah was in charge of Ghana, the then Good Coast in Ghana, nutrition was an office directly in the office of the president. It was part of the presidency. So over time, we've lost our relevance in the presidency. What we are seeking to do with putting dietetics and nutrition together is to recover that relevance in the national conversation. And so building together and getting the numbers, I think Reverend Bedu made reference to that. Working together and getting the professions together is more beneficial to us than to have us split in separate places. And for those who are masters of warfare, the easiest way to win a war is to break up the front of your sorry. The easiest way to win a war is to break up the front of your opponent. And if even ourselves who are cheering up for this war of independence of our profession, would still want to antagonize ourselves, in my humble view, we will only make it more difficult for nutrition and dietetics. At least for dietetics, it kind of becomes clear that in Ghana, dietetics is limited to hospitals. But dietetics is definitely not just in the hospitals. So if we work together, the key goal is to first off become a council by ourselves, just like the medical and dental council is it is medicine and dentistry, but they are a council by themselves. Just like the nursing and midwifery council is, they are nurses and midwives, but they are able to self-regulate. And that is where we are pushing towards. By keeping nutrition under public health, what we are doing is to make it even more difficult, Brother Anthony, even more difficult to have that self-regulation fully materialize. And that is what I want to encourage us to consider. Now, beyond apologies for that interruption. So beyond just working together, the final thing I'll say on this is just this, that I am of the view, and that's my strong conviction, that when we work together, we have a stronger voice, we have a stronger representation, and then the ability to break out and make nutrition and dietetics our own space is the way to go. But this view is not based on whims or caprices, like somebody used in the last meeting. These views are based on the International Labour Organization's classification of health professions, on the one hand, and the World Health Organization's classification of health professions in the second view, and then what the originators of the Act 857, which is the act that set up the Allied Health Professions Council, started to do. So when they started the council as a task force and then as a council, they decided that nutrition and dietetics are more closely related. Even though they agreed that they were uniquenesses, but they still put it together. And so the inclination of this leadership and my personal conviction is that maintaining that and achieving that is more beneficial to us than separating our fronts. Over and thank you.
All right, thank you, Ajit Dela, for the addition to what has been said. Are there any more comments, questions? Okay, Mr. Kula, you've raised your hand again. Kindly
Okay.
unmute
Okay,
and go ahead.
so thank you. I just want maybe President and Vice to, I asked two questions. I think they concentrated on the second issue, but the first issue I was asking was what makes a professional body become a council so that they will self-regulate themselves. That one wasn't answered. So they may have to try
I would
to
like
give
to
more.
answer that, Anthony.
Yes. And then the
Yeah.
other thing maybe I will add is that I get the impression the confusion is around where to place nutrition, but not on dietetics. Is that the case? Because if we are making the case that even dietetics can go beyond clinical, so the challenge will not be for the issue of where we put nutrition, but we should make sure that dietetics too is also not kept under clinical so that we can stand alone. But if we agree or we make them put dietetics under clinical, then it appears that we have lost 50% of the people. Then what it means that nutrition will have to be placed somewhere. But if we don't agree for dietetics to be placed under clinical, then we can also argue that the two should be put together to stand alone. That is my other point I want to make. So you can now respond to my issue about the council. Thank you.
So, Senior Anthony, primarily, a council in Ghana is a function of an act of parliament, primarily. So the Medical and Dental Council is established by an act of parliament. Pretty much the same for all the other councils. And one of the ways to achieve that is when we have a demonstrated self-regulation even before, and then we can now do the lobbying and push for that. So it's like going from step A or step 1 to step 2. The first step is to be organized in such a way that you can demonstrate the ability to self-govern yourselves. Then the second step is to make the lobby, which involves a lot of engagement with the state authorities and parliament, to issue an act that will establish the council. Then after that, you just continue with what we do with self-regulation. Now, for the ones that are already in existence, they've been around for quite some time. Their numbers are significant. So the Medical and Dental Council, the Nursing and Midwifery Council, the Pharmacy Council is a recent one. That's also a creation of the law. Then the Mental Health Council, in fact, that is actually the most surprising one of all. The Mental Health Group is not as big as the Allied Health Group or even the Diabetes Group, or Nutrition Group, but they got a council when the act was established. Now, there's another arm of this conversation that we are kind of quiet on, and this is what I think that this is what creates the confusion that actually happens. So there is the third arm of this conversation is the creation of the postgraduate college of professional training. So that's like the Ghana, how is this one called? It's called the College of Surgeons, Physicians and Surgeons. Then College of Nursing and Midwifery, and then the College of Pharmacy. Those are the ones. They are also creations of law currently in the Ghanaian system. In other words, so there are actually three things. Each of these professions that have managed to get an act dedicated to themselves, which have a council, also have a professional body like GAND. So the Ghana Medical Association is a professional body for doctors in Ghana. And the council for doctors is the Medical and Dental Council. And then in addition to that, they have a third arm called the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. So what the college does is a college that trains the specialists and consultants according to our law. Then the council gives the license to say that you are qualified enough to practice. And then the Ghana Medical Association now does the labor-related agitations, protecting the professional. So it's a three-pronged practice. In our context as nutrition and dietetics, because we have, over time, we didn't organize ourselves over time, and this is a little of history. And the powers that be, so these health professions managed to dominate the space and then realize the relevance of our professions and began to denigrate, that's a very strong word. They began to reduce the powers of nutrition and dietetics over time. In fact, even before then, there was no dietetics. Dietetics is a very recent practice in Ghana. If I'm not mistaken, it's just around the early 2008 we started training in Ghana. But the few dietitians who came earlier were just a handful of people. So by the time the nutrition and dietetics now established as trainings in Ghana, the office that manages and would have the power to regulate ourselves had already been reduced to a unit, or if you like, a division under public health, when it started off in the office of the president. So we have lost a lot of ground in the last 60 years or so. What we need to do is to first organize ourselves quickly. Like that's what GAND has been doing from the beginning. Get ourselves in shape and ready to say that we are together. The fact that we are together does not mean that we are the same. I think that's another confusion that tends to come up. Medical and the Ghana Medical Association also includes dentists, but if you see medics and dentists argue, you will be shocked. But they know that they are one group, but they have different functions. So nutrition and dietetics being together does not mean that a nutritionist is equal to a dietitian. No, it only means that for common interest, we serve the same interest, we follow the same purpose. In fact, it's better for us to regulate ourselves than to have somebody who is a health information person regulate you as a nutritionist. It is better for us to be with ourselves than to have somebody who is a forgive my choice of examples, just because one of those ones which is in the pool of allied health, environmental health, to say that, okay, so in this allied health space, this is how we are going to do it. And then, unfortunately, if you're not at the table where decisions are made, it is Prof. Annan who said this in the past. He says, at the dinner table, you are either the guests or the meal. Decide quickly which one you are and make amends. So if you are not the one sitting on the table to make the decisions, know that you are the meal which is being eaten. And that is where we are at. So in fighting ourselves, we are constantly cooking and baking ourselves properly for other professions who are more aggressive in seeking self-regulation or independence to make us meals. And that is where I actually have a lot of personal pain. I pray we all agree that self-regulation starts with pulling ourselves together. All the other people we have mentioned as examples in the Ghanaian health space, they are not entirely uniform, except for pharmacy, maybe, except for pharmacy. But all the other ones, they are two very similar groups dealing with themselves and regulating themselves. And that is all the GB has sought to do since our inception. Anthony, I don't know, I hope I have answered your questions, please.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yes, and I think the statement that you made, you see, you are virtually saying what we wanted to say, because the point is that we are not saying that we have to merge and be under clinical or whatever. What we are saying is that the spaces that are within the allied health profession, most of the professions are cross-cutting in nature, and we don't need to put them in silos and make them clinical and public health, which they think is the best option for that. Each of the professions under must be able to grow and even break out at a certain point in time and develop their own regulation and all that kind of thing. Putting 18 or and over professions under one umbrella and saying and regulating them and now trying to categorize them as clinical and whatever doesn't make sense. So we need to be one on this matter and look at it. Unfortunately, a lot of interest groups have been on selfish interest. I must say this one. And it's been so annoying right from the beginning. People are sacrificing their life just to make sure that we move on a pedestal. And others are just looking at their self-interest and not even the interest of the larger group. Let us be able to desist from all these things and know that nobody needs this for anything. At the end of the day, I served for 3 years. I'm going. Somebody will come and serve for another years and you also go. But the interest of why we are putting ourselves in this matter should be the first to think about. And the rest should just be anything at all. And so we should know these things. And those of us who are here now with some of these groups, and you please try to talk to your people. That it is not about me or it is not about anybody. It is about the profession and Ghana, how Ghana needs to go. And we need to be very, very cautious about this as we deliberate in many other fields. So I think that the way forward, like the council, getting what do you call a council for any group, there are procedural things you have to follow. You need to apply. And there's quite a lot of money that is involved in these things to get Parliament to develop an act and all that. You need to put your documentations together, send it to Parliament. There will be some meetings based on the ministry in which you are going to work with. It's quite a huge thing. There's quite a lot of money issues involved here. And that is why we need everybody on board to be able to drive those processes. But as we are here, even this small thing we try to fight, another group goes behind to say this and that. It doesn't make sense. So please, let us see that we are one in a whole But of course, we have our dynamic activities that we do. But we shouldn't allow things to shortchange other spread of activities that can happen within the same space of time. The last time we tried to do the professional recategorization, we presented something to our as of today, we've not gotten any feedback on these things. But we realized that if you really are to classify our profession, being in nutrition and dietetics, there are so many areas of specialization. The current classifications that exist in the Ministry of Health doesn't embody many other persons who could really be drawn within the profession of nutrition and dietetics. And this should be a cause of worry to all of us as we look forward in trying to grow our niche and then expanding our niche. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. I see Magdalene's hand is up. Yes, Magdalene. Kindly unmute and share your thoughts with us. Hello, Magdalene. Okay. Prof. Ayi, you can please go ahead. I don't know if
Yes,
Magdalene
thank you very much. Thank you so much. In fact, I was not expecting this particular debate to be brought up in this particular special meeting, but it's good that it is coming up because it is something that some of us have always spoken. We have spoken to this. I'm sure you know that I've been trying to talk about unifying the two fronts. In fact, I even proposed that we call the whole thing nutritional sciences so that we all know we are there, we belong. When we talk about nutritional sciences, all of us can fit in there. And we can even bring other, nutritional, other programs or other areas under nutritional science. I'm not proposing it now, but maybe in future we can be thinking about it. Now, but what I think is very important, just to clarify a little bit of history. I've been in existence quite long enough. I don't know if probably not the longest among the group right now. And I know I was also in Kolebu in the earlier days. I was there. The medical and dental council, as we have it now, was not so before. It was the Ghana Medical Council. The dentists, at that time when we were doing Ghana, the dentists were not even being trained here. They were just doing first, second year, and then they were going out to the outside. And so the few dentists who were around were those who are trained somewhere and have come to, and they were not really being regulated until they got a certain number of people who joined. And then they had to go under the Medical and Dental Council. Now, I'm just trying to rebut a small thing that Percy talked about having a college and all those things. Those things we can talk about later. But the fact of the matter is that Ghana Medical Council, they don't have a college from the beginning. It was a later stage that a college came into being, which is a very good thing to have. The same with the Nurses and Midwifery Council. When they started, when they lobbied for that council, they had it. They didn't have a college. This college issue of nursing and midwifery came in quite recently. So we shouldn't be thinking about a college now to be able to attain that status of council. Otherwise, we will have to wait for another decade or more. Now, what I'm thinking is that Kwanchia de far, the Sikaneyo. The whole game we are talking about is about money. And for us, money will transform into numbers. If we have the numbers, and that is what others are doing, they had the numbers and they were able to make sure that they could lobby and do what is necessary and so on to get there. And you have all rightly said that nutrition has been parried to the bottom. because of the way things have been looked at, because of, in fact, we ourselves do not even portray nutrition as where it should be. Everybody is talking about some aspects of nutrition which everyone else knows. In fact, we have nurses who portray themselves as nutritionists, doctors who are nutritionists because they know a little bit of nutrition and so on. We don't portray ourselves as a special group. Then Mordecai, and then look, until recently, like the president was talking about, it was, nurses and who are specialized in the cooking area, who are dietitians in the hospitals. Those who have been there cooking and preparing meals and so on. I was there. I know what I'm talking about. So they had to be there. They get one person who has been trained a bit, and then he trains them in the kitchen and the rest, and they become the dietitians of the hospital. It is until we started training dietitians that we are. So it's something that comes with time. But I believe the numbers, we need numbers. That one I cannot overemphasize. If we don't have the numbers, forget it. And then we need dedicated people who can clearly articulate what nutrition is all about, to lobby people to understand what we stand for, lobby the politicians. I don't know how many times we have written some briefs and sent to what do you call it, to Parliament, for them to acknowledge and read something concerning our quest for nutrition to be a major thing in the country. We haven't done so much. When we hold our small meetings, we don't even invite the requisite people to come, or even if we invite them, they don't come because they don't see the need for it. Let us be serious. Let's put nutrition where it belongs. And I'm telling you, when we go to ask for council, ask to regulate ourselves, it will come just like that. So I believe that it is a matter of time anyway. But let's be united. Let's be united. Look, we ourselves want to disintegrate our body because people think one group is recognized as a health, this thing, and the other group is, look, we have to look at these things and look at it dispassionately and move forward as one. Otherwise, we will not get anywhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. I, for the comments. Okay. Okay, so I guess if we don't have any more comments or questions on the presentation given by Reverend Prince Beju, we can move on into the next presentation on the African Nutrition Conference. Sorry. So, Percival, please, if you are ready, you can kindly go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Salam. Please, can you see my screen?
No, it came in and went off.
Sorry, I think I probably put it on. Is it out now?
Yes, it's up now.
Great. So it's been a very powerful conversation so far. I'm always excited when we are having these heart-to-heart discussions about who we are and why we are where we are and what we want to do. It's always beautiful. And but for the next few minutes, I'm going to be talking about the African Nutrition Conference, which is the 9th African Nutrition Conference, also known as the ANC 2024, or by its former name, the African Nutrition Epidemiology Conference, which is popularly known as the ANEC since its inception. And as God will have it, it's the 3rd time in Ghana. The last time in Ghana was in 2014. And this time, the organizers or the African Nutrition Society, who are the main, the owners of this program, reached out to Ghana and said, look, you guys, you did a wonderful thing at COND, and we want you to take this year's ANEC and do it with us. So in partnership with the African Peace Society, GAND is doing this conference, and I'm happy to talk to you about it. So like I said, the ANEC is a major event in Africa. In fact, this is the very first event in the nutrition landscape since the COVID hit the world. So this is the first time after 2019 that nutritionists all over Africa and even beyond Africa, because we already have registrations from the UK, from the US, from Canada, and even Australia, or is it Austria? And we are expecting quite a very large gathering of professionals. And the idea is to bring all of these international people together to have a conversation around food, around nutrition, around dietetics, and to also share information, share research, share knowledge, and most importantly, to network and hopefully get some collaborations and possibly have some possible research partners moving forward into the future. And for students, you don't know, you may never know. This may be your opportunity to meet your supervisor who will give you a grant to do your master's or probably your PhD in one of the universities that will be representing. Yes, so where is this happening? It's happening in Cape Coast at the University of Cape Coast. In fact, did you know that University of Cape Coast is the #1 university in West Africa? Oh, somebody muted me. Sorry. So I'm saying that, did you know that the University of Cape Coast is the #1 university in West Africa? And they have been holding the #1 spot for the past 3 years consecutively. That is amazing. I mean, the scenery in Cape Coast alone and the campus is so beautiful. And so that is where we're going to have the conference. And the theme is food and nutrition in a changing world. The world is really changing. And the implications for nutrition security and health in Africa. So again, the dates are October 7th to 11th in 2024. That's a little over a month away. Now, oh, come on, change. Yes. So the theme I've mentioned, the venue I've mentioned, the dates I've mentioned as well, October 7th to 11th. Now, who are the people who are speaking? All of these names I'm mentioning are confirmed speakers. They are coming from all over the world to come to speak to us. So from all the way from North Carolina in the USA, Professor Barry Popkin. For those of you who don't know Barry Popkin, he's one of the key leaders in nutrition globally. Many of the books we have read has the name Popkin in it. Check it. So he's going to be here in person. They're also having the former president of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics from the United States of America, Professor Laurie Wright. A number of us in the dietetic space are quite familiar with Prof Laurie. Then our own Professor Analate. In fact, Professor Analate is the immediate past director of nutrition at the FAO. Big giant in the Ghanaian space. And not just that, she was also the immediate past president of the International Union of Nutrition Sciences, and President Perko had indicated that GAND is bidding to host the next IUNS conference in 2029, and we are among the top 4 countries shortlisted, and we are very confident to bring it to Africa a second time, because it has never been to West Africa, and GAND is working hard to make that true. Then Dr. Habiba Hassan herself is a 90-year-old, in fact, he's a veteran in nutrition from Egypt. She's going to be here in person. And our own chair of nutrition group, Professor Reginana, is also on the bill. And I'm leaving the topics out. I'm sure I'll share this slide so you can refer to them. But they basically are going to talk about food systems, training and capacity building for nutrition and dietetics space, nutrition governance. Those are the key themes of the conference. And the food environment, they're going to speak about everything: food, nutrition, dietetics, and the environment in which is promoted, and the training for professionals, and also even quality assurance, because that is very important for data collection and data management and decision making. And among the other speakers are Professor Amos La, Professor Donald Bundy, Professor Mary Murimi. In fact, the list is just endless. And so far, I'm presenting 15 of over 20 confirmed speakers. So our own Professor Paul Ama-Ayi, who just spoke a few minutes ago on the call, is also on the bill. And then Professor Paul Amuna, who is also the chair of the scientific committee, is also going to be on the bill. In addition to Professor Andrew Prentice and Professor Alan Jackson. These are global giants in nutrition across the world. And they are all going to be here in Cape Coast. But all of these names I've mentioned have already booked their accommodation. They have, I have indication that many of them have booked their own flights. They are coming, they are sponsoring themselves to be present and to make an impact in the lives of nutritionists and dietitians here in Ghana and across Africa. Now, we are also having a pre-conference, a special pre-conference, and that is sponsored by the CRS and the FAO on the 5th and 6th. That is the Saturday and Sunday before the 7th, which is a Monday, on school health and nutrition. And this is a very high-powered pre-conference workshop, and you want to really be part of it. In fact, what is happening is that this workshop is by invitation only. So if you want to be part, you have to reach out, and then we can consider send the invitation around. Then beyond that, there are other symposia in the conference. They have a symposia from the Lina Cook Foundation. They are going to do something on multiple micronutrient supplementation. The ANH Academy, Agric Nutrition and Health Academy, is also doing something on training of enrichment training of trainers program on interdisciplinary teaching and learning. So these are exciting concepts, and you want to be part of this training. These are the movers and shakers of research in these areas coming down themselves in person to come and provide, the best of the training in person to you. Those are trainings you typically have online, but you are going to have them in person, and you want to be part of them. Then the University of Sheffield, with collaboration with the School of Public Health in UG, University of Ghana, so doing another symposium on nutrition in the city, enabling nutrient-rich food in urban markets. And then our own KNUST is also doing, in fact, have set up a Center of Excellence for Periodic Table Food Initiative. It's an amazing concept, and I don't have the qualifications to actually go into it in depth, and the time is limited to even do that now. But Professor Reginald Annan and his team are going to, and his team of collaborators from South Africa and UK and a few other places, are going to help us unlock food composition data and human planetary health, and how to use the food composition of the periodic table of food composition to address these issues. And now we can use it for research and for our clinical and public health practices. Then the UC Davis, University of California, Davis Institute of Global Nutrition is also having a symposium on multiple micronutrient fortification of billions cubes, the new evidence and effectiveness and policy implications and all that. Then the Nutrition Society is sponsoring Reverend Thomas Indanu, Dr. Thomas Indanu, to provide a step-by-step guide to data analysis for nutrition and dietetic research. And this will be very exciting for many people, yes, so this will be, like I'm saying, this will be very useful for many people, especially the students and master students, PhD students, even first degree students who are still doing data analysis, and even for established researchers, you want to come and learn the regression analysis and all those fanciful research and how to present them beautifully and get quality results from data. Now, in addition to all these symposia, there are a number of posters and short communications that are going to be presented in these four tracks. So there's something on food systems and nutrition in Africa, something on nutrition and health and well-being, something on training and capacity building, something on special events, some roundtable debates on nutrition governance and nutrition leadership and things like that. And these are all part of the training, which are very amazing. Where you want to really part of. Please give me a minute, everyone, please. My apologies. Okay, so I was saying that these are the tracks, and I'm happy to announce that there are over almost 400 separate abstracts. I mean, not counting the special events, almost 400 abstracts submitted so far to the conference, and many of these have been reviewed, but 90+% have been reviewed, and they have been, feedback have been given to speakers. We are expecting that many people, so many people for this conference. This slide is just to show us where we have come from. So the call for abstracts and the call for the conference started in March, and the second call for abstracts came in May, and then the late call for abstracts came in August. As at today, the call for abstracts is over. It ended on the 25th of August, but the early bird registration, which is ending tomorrow, was also announced as far back as June. And so if you've not yet registered, that you still have at least some time to do that before the early bird passes away. In fact, early bird is a wisest options you can consider for this conference. So what are some of the things that you should expect? We have gala dinner in the program. We have a welcome cocktail with networking opportunities. So you are going to be speaking. You get a chance to get close to some of these big names I've mentioned, and many more. I didn't mention all of them. There are many more. And you get a chance to speak to them one-on-one. I mean, get to engage them, ask them questions. In fact, I recommend that you come prepared with a few questions for a number of the people who are the big names on the bill. I mean, if you like, read a couple of their papers and come and ask them something about their papers. They are excited to answer those questions, and you never know where these discussions can lead. So please take note and do that. In addition to that, we are going to have some fun trips. We are taking everybody to the Cape Coast Castle, which is just a few minutes drive from the university, and everybody is going to at least see the gate of no return and experience the history of our ancestors who were unfortunate participants in the transatlantic slave trade, and then relive those experiences. And there's also optional trips, including the Kakum National Park, and which would be available for those who are interested to do so. Then there are also opportunities for exhibitions. So exhibitions, and all members who are interested can actually reach out to me or to Dr. Kassim or to Madam Felicia Danso. I mean, to pick up an exhibition booth, so you have your product or your organization or where you work. You want to showcase what the work you are doing in nutrition. Yes, reach out and we can arrange exhibition booths for you. And the standard size here we have is 3 meters by 3 meters, and it's beautiful. It's just like the picture on the left right here. Very exquisite with your dustbin, chairs, 2 chairs, 1 table. That's standard size, and it's amazing. You want to be part of that. So far, the space is running out quickly. You want to be part of it. Yes. Then for posters. So those who have already submitted your abstracts and they've been accepted, please aim at preparing, investing time and effort into your posters, because you're going to be judged. They're going to be judged, and then the best 3 posters will be given some awards. Now, this is just to show you what is happening on the website so far. And this is taken this morning. Is that a question? So this was taken this morning. Just so this is from the IT team. So this morning alone, 165 unique individuals have already visited the website and tried to engage with the website. In the last 1 month, over 5,000 people have done that. Over 5,000 people have unique individuals have checked the website, and they are gearing up to some have submitted abstracts, some have registered, some are registering, some are asking questions. Amazing. So we are expecting a significant number of people in the conference. And so if you have a business and you want to really reach out to the nutrition professionals and dietitians and food experts, this is the place to be, to bring your business to. You want to be there, you want to reach out, just give us a call, send us an email, and then just reach out to us, and we'll guide you and help you to set up beautifully and reach out to this very amazing group of professionals. Then there's a very special networking opportunity that's a special surprise for everybody. And I'll leave that surprise until we get to Cape Coast in October. Yes. Now, how much does it cost to register for the conference? In fact, this is an international conference. This is not, because it's an international conference, the pricing is in the US dollar, so that it will be standard across the different nations that are participating. So the early bird is actually $250 for GAND members and ANS members. But the regular price is $300, and the late on-site as a late registration is $350. But the good news is that we didn't leave that. We are not leaving our members to do that, to pay $250. We have negotiated these highly discounted rates for GAND members, especially GAND members. So 1,500 Ghana cedis for the full week of the conference is less than, it's just about 45% of the true cost of the conference. And I think that GAND members, I believe, will be very excited with this news. You don't have to pay the equivalent of $250, but you're paying, even if the dollar is 10 cedis. Hey, if the dollar is $1 to a cedi, this 250 is quickly $2,500. But we know that the dollar is hovering over 15 cedis and is heading towards 16. And so you can see the quantum of discounts that the LOC and the GAND has managed to secure for us. So just your membership of GAND with your GAND dues and your GAND number, that's all you need to activate this discounted rate. But guys, remember that after tomorrow, this is quickly moving into the regular rate, which is still cheaper than $2,500 at $10 per 10 cedis per dollar. But these are rates that we believe to encourage Ghanaians to. We are aiming at not less than 800 Ghanaians in attendance, including Ghanaian students and Ghanaian even members, people who are not GAND members, and more so for registered GAND students, because the discussion came up earlier this morning when we were talking. That was the benefit for GAND students. Being a student member of GAND, it grants you further discounts from the regular students who are not GAND members. So if I were an undergraduate student, what I will quickly do is to register quickly on GAND and then use my GAND number and quickly activate 800 Ghana cedis at early bird rates, and then I'm at Cape Coast. I mean, I'm registered fully, and I get the benefits of the conference. Then there are trips, and there's a dinner, and they are also rated. I mean, if you have questions, I can respond to those ones. Now, how do you register? It's actually very straightforward. Just go to the link, click on this link. I'll share this presentation, so you can just click on the link, or you go to the conference website, anc.ansnet.org. And once you are there, anc.ansnet.org. Once you are there, you select registration, select Ghanaian registrations, and then you just fill in the form. It's a very simple form. And then you put in your GAN number, automatically you get the discounts for GAN members. And then you can make payments with mobile money, or you can make payments with an online payment system like Visa and MasterCard. Or you can actually choose that you want to walk to the bank and make deposits in the bank. The instructions are very clearly stated on the website. So, and I believe if you have any difficulties, feel free to reach out to us, and then we'll help you to do just that. Okay. Then accommodation. We have created very beautiful accommodations in and around the campus and Cape Coast, which are close enough to the conference, and these are available on the website. If you require accommodation to stay in and to attend the conference, what you just need to do is to go to this link on the website. It's available on the home tab. You can just see travel and accommodation, but you can just directly click on this link, and then there are different array of hotels and hostels. I mean, and based on your convenience and your preference and your if you like your pocket, you can choose the one that best works for you. So we have hostels that are 2 in a room, or hostels that are 4 in a room for students like myself, or hostels. I mean, and if you want to be the only one in the room, you just pay for the total number of people who would occupy the room, and they are as low as overall they are less than $10 per night for the full room, for most of the places. So for the student hostels. But if you are able to, and you want the options for the hotels, they are very beautiful hotels. In fact, a few of them are listed in the image, but there are many more on the website. You can just scan through them, select, read about them, see what the hotel offers. Most of the hotels offer bed and breakfast. And what we have done is that we've actually negotiated very wonderful discount that allows us to pick you up from the hotel in the morning and take you to the conference venue and pick you from
Your mic is off.
Sorry? Hello, what did you say?
You went off briefly.
Oh, so where did I go off at? If you can prompt me.
But you are talking about picking in and out.
Okay, great. The network has been very unpleasant in recent days, so my apologies. So I was saying that in some of these hotels, in fact, all the hotels we have listed on the website currently, has included in the rates provided local pickup. So you transport from the hotel to your venue, the conference venue, and back at the end of the day. So if you book through our online system, you are sorted. You just get both accommodation and local transport, except of course that you decide that you want to spend extra time in town, and then you want to explore the city of Cape Coast outside the period of the conference, which is also fairly allowable. In fact, we actually encourage you to do that, except that we recommend that you go out in pairs. You don't go out alone, so that at least there is somebody who's with you. And if you need support, you can always keep the conference numbers on hand so that we can reach out to you. Yes, so like I'm saying, accommodation is available. You can book it online and make payments right at the point of booking. And then the team would quickly allocate the rooms to you. And trust me, the rooms are running out quickly. So please, the sooner you do that, the better. Thank you. Then I want to just acknowledge some of the funding sponsors we have gotten so far for this conference. And many of these have already pledged, and some have already paid, some are already actively involved in the programming. So Elena Crook Foundation, World Vision Kenya, the ANH Academy, I mentioned their symposium, the Food and Agri Organization, FAO, CRS, InnoNest, SAL, Nutrition Society, the Atomic Energy Agency, the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, and then the WAHO group. So the WAHO group is a group that published the harmonized training for nutrition and dietetics, and they're going to be present to support that conversation and why they propose that, and perhaps that may help enrich the conversation in why we may want to harmonize nutrition and dietetics training. And they also pledge some very signal support to the conference. So we are expecting all of them in the conference. These last few slides, I just want to say a few short words to say that please be encouraged to register and participate, because the gains far outweigh the cost. The opportunities that you can never, there are some things you can never add financial value, pricing to. The value of the networking and the connections that you can harness in this 1 week event, it may surpass your imaginations and dreams. It will surpass your imaginations and dreams, because the global hitters, the global names in nutrition and dietetics are going to be present in ANEC in Cape Coast from the 7th of October to the 11th of October. So you want to be there yourself to experience them. Even the presence in your participation alone will make you begin to rethink your love and passion for nutrition and dietetics. And I'm confident that after this ANEC, you know that you realize that GAND is really taking us to very high and far places. So my concluding words: don't miss the chance. Don't miss this chance at all. Don't miss it. Don't miss the chance to meet change makers, to meet innovators, to meet industry leaders, and to network and get the benefits that come with it. Don't miss this chance at all. Contact us on our social media platforms. Please like it, subscribe, or like, share on our posts. At least know what is happening, because daily we update information on these handles. ANS net or on Facebook, African Truth Society on LinkedIn, and then at ANS.net.org on X, which used to be called Twitter. And then you can always reach out to any one of us, Dr. Frank Hayford, who is the head of Treasury of the African Truth Society, and Dr. Kasim Abdullah, who is the LOC chair at the UCC, and then myself, who is the LOC chair for the conference. On this note, I want to say thank you for your time and your attention. I'm happy to respond to any queries and any questions. Over to you, sir. Moderator.
Thank you for the presentation.
Yes, Sanam.
Yes.
If I may quickly add,
Right.
to just a portion. I don't know if Dela mentioned that as you already know, maybe some of you might have applied. We have managed to get some money. We are trying in the process. All those funders Dela mentioned. We are trying to encourage them to put some money down to sort of help sponsor young scientists, professionals, early career researchers, and then particularly students to be able to attend. So for those of you who have applied, who did apply, we really are making every effort to support you. But as my colleague, elegantly, presented, we would also want you to show some commitment because we really have subsidized the cost for Ghanaians to attend. In fact, it is your conference. We'll be expecting a lot most of the time, sometimes when you travel for conferences, you see that local participant is very low. We want to change the narrative this time around. That is the reason why the LOC, really negotiated very hard to get huge discounted rates for Ghanaians. So do everything that you can and to make this conference a reality. So thank you very much. Yeah. So over to you, Madam Moderator.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Hayford.
Thank you, Dr. Hayford.
Yeah.
All right, so there are some comments in the chats. Okay, so Magdalene is asking if there will be an option to attend online.
So we are exploring that, and we'll be announcing the modalities in the coming days.
Okay, and she's also asking if the sessions will be recorded and will be available for maybe members to listen in or to listen to at a fee after the conference.
So that suggestion is, yes, we are recording the sessions, and we intend to make it available. I like the suggestion to add a fee. We will consider that. But yes, we are recording it. We'll make it available.
All right. And then
sorry?
Somebody said something. She's suggesting a fee.
I think that's what.
I think it would not be for free. Whatever it is, a very minimal fee to also raise funds to support the local cost that will come up within the conference organization. So let's be assured.
So for purchase after the conference, I think.
And also for fairness to those who had to pay hard currency to be there, we need to at least make it available for everybody, but at a very minimal fee to pay for the hosting and all that.
I agree, President. I was only pulling his legs.
Oh no, I appreciate that. I think the questioner asked if it will be for purchase, isn't it? So
Yes.
so I think it's a good suggestion but then the truth is that even after we have recorded it and we make it available online in other online, platforms, virtual platforms, we will still need to spend some resources to keep it there for a very long time. And so yes, we may have to provide some little cost to sustain that and to build GAND in the process. So yes, it may be at a fee.
Okay, and another question is, what is the registration package comprised of? So if I pay 1,200 or 1,500, what am I entitled to?
Okay, that's a very important question. So firstly, we are feeding lunch, packed lunch each day of the conference. And then we are having snacks for each day of the conference. And we are having the conference packs, the complimentary trip to Cape Coast for the regular, for the full delegates. The student delegates may not get that, some of these largesse, but yeah, those are the full packs. So the conference bag and package, which includes the book of abstracts, the program outline, and then some of the other paraphernalia that come with it, the name tag and all that. They are all the conference package. They are part of the conference package. Yes, in addition to the meals and snacks.
All right, great, thank you. And Justina asked if national service personnel could register as students for ANEC, and I've seen that she's been replied that yes, students who are doing the national service can register as students because we consider the national service period as an intensive period. So yes.
So I think we should clarify that.
Yeah.
So for GAND, your student membership continues through your period of national service. And your student membership only ends after at the point where you are going to be inducted into the academy. Reverend Bedu, am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
Yes. So but for you to be considered a student of GAND, you must have a student number.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have a student number, you are just like any other student in Ghana.
Yes.
Provided that your ID card is valid. So if you don't have a valid ID card, forgive me, but we have to treat you as a regular person. So here. So if you are a student member of GAND, your student number would be active. And so you will get to use these rates. 800 cedis by close of day tomorrow. But if you are not, if you're a student member, if you're a Ghanaian student, but you're not a student member of GAND, your rate is 1,200 early bird. In fact, it's actually very discounted because the real rate is about $100. And $100 is actually around 1,600, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Okay. Over.
Okay, so I think let me ask, RDF4 is asking, what about a full member who is also a PhD candidate? So in this instance, they are students. Yes. Where do they also fall? Will they fall under GAN members only?
Yeah,
or
PhD
registered GAN student members?
I want to respond to this question. I want to respond to this question very, very carefully. So Auntie Efwa, I'm sure you are aware that in GAND, if you're a student, you're a student. We allow you to you can apply as a student because you have a proof of studentship. But you are not a GAND student member, so you cannot apply as 800 because your GAND number will not be a student number. Your GAND number will be a membership, will be a full member number. Note that the discount is based on the status of your GAND number. So you can decide to be a student for this conference, in which case your GAND number may not serve you appropriately. You may want to use your student ID card, in which case you are going to use this rates. But why do you want to be a student member? Okay, well, it's important. Please, you are still a student. But then note that some of the benefits that come with the full members are not exactly the same for the student member. There are some reduced, some fractional differences in the packaging. That's all I want to add. Over.
Okay. So in response to that, a member is asking, so please, what package accompanies the student registrants?
Oh, you have access to all the venues, all the events. You have, sorry, I just saw IDF's emoji, and it just made me smile a little. So yeah, you have access to all the conference events, so you can participate in all the events. But your starter pack, the conference pack, we're missing a few souvenirs. That's the main difference. But the good news is that as a student, you can actually, from the 1st of September, we're rolling out a call for volunteers. You can actually apply as a volunteer, and then you actually get 50% waived off your registration. And then you help run the conference in different volunteering roles. I mean, when it comes out, look out for it. We are trying to recruit a number of students, postgraduate students mostly, and then undergraduate students as well, to help as rapporteurs, as conference ushers, protocol team, help with the food service system, and also help with tour guides, particularly those who know their way around Cape Coast, and then to help the participants. So that's another way of getting further discounts on your registration fees. Right. Over.
All right, thank you. So Perpetual is asking if something can be done about the amount for those who wish to attend but are unemployed.
Perpetual, what do you want to be done about the amount, please? If you could be more specific.
Okay, so looking at the 2,500, that is if the person is not able to pay early, maybe the person is not going to mobilize some money and come. And by the time the person comes, the person is late. So the person will have to pay 2,500. So that's what I'm asking. If it could be subsidized, or there will be, you see the way there is a subsidized price for the students, participants. So I was looking at something like that, please.
As in student, but no, all of these rates are subsidized with Perpetual. You still want further subsidies?
I was only thinking aloud, please.
Anyway, so I think we would consider but then these are very subsidized rates. In fact, let's just do a quick calculation. So, like I said, GAND members is 2,000. Hey, no. The original rate is $250. $250 times 15. My math is not working very well at the moment, but that should be around almost 3,000, if I'm not mistaken. Eventually. So these are really discounted rates. But you see, we also want to ensure that with these rates, in fact, these are very competitive rates, trust me. I mean, for high-level conferences like this one, international conference, these rates are actually less than, to be very honest, these rates are just about $100 for the GAND member, just about $100. Even less than $100, if you want to be very sincere. And we know we are catering for an international audience. We cannot compromise on quality. We cannot compromise on standards, because people are coming from different places from across Africa and across Europe and across the North America and elsewhere. I've seen abstracts from Asia. I mean, people are really coming. And I've showed you, within the last month, over 4,000 to 5,000 people have visited the website alone, just this 30 days alone. So we really want to ensure that the standards are maintained. And you and I know that for you to, my tree is bad, but the accounts have a proven that say the enam okay. The enam must be fat and rich to entice the richer and bigger fishes. So we are attracting all these big names to Ghana, and they are coming. In fact, many of them have already booked. Like I told you, they already booked their hotel accommodation. They are not waiting for us to book for them. They booked. And when they come like that, the standard must be set, must be maintained. And as we are talking, this conference is just the preparation for a bigger conference where we will bring the whole world to Ghana. Okay, so how much is a standard plate of food? You help me in even around here. Okay, so let's look at it. So if you ask me, I think the rates are really, really, really competitive. Anything lower than this will be performing miracles. But if you can help us with funding, that may be very possible. Yes, Dr. Hayford, your hand is up.
So Percy, that's really convincing. But truly, to add to what Percy said, Perpetual, if you can borrow. Trust me, it will be worth it. If you've ever had an ANEC experience before, or ask somebody who have actually had an experience with ANEC before, it's worth it. What you gain out of the conference at the end of the day will be far more than the actually already discounted fee that you have. So I would really encourage you to do that. And I think he's also giving you avenues that you can also further even reduce your rates by being a volunteer. You love it. That's what I want to add to it, right? Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Hayford.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hayford.
Eunice is
I really like my answer.
We can get release letters to our hospitals and also sponsorship letters for ANEC. Okay, so the GAND Secretariat has sent letters to the Ghana Health Service and also to CHAG to release nutritionists and dietitians to attend to the conference. And we've also, in that letter, we put the registration information and packages there so they can also support you. We are yet to hear back from them. However, if you feel that your hospital can help with maybe sponsorship, you can request a letter for your hospital from the Secretariat and we would get that to you. Thank you. Okay. Aridella, you still have some questions here. Will the volunteers registration be slashed by 50% for regular fees or early bird fees in September?
So we are giving you a 50% at the time of registration.
Okay. So it means that if I've already registered as for early bird, it means
all the better.
that I'll get a 50% discount. If I register during the regular period, I'll get a 50% discount. Okay.
Yes. In fact, if you registered if you already registered as an early bird, your chances of being I mean, that's a sign of commitment to the conference. And I'm very confident that the team who are going to be selecting the volunteers will be happy to work with you because you've already showed them that you really want to be part of the conference. So, okay. So you do that quickly, and then you increase your chance of being selected.
All right. Manuela is asking when the induction ceremony for new members will be. So the induction will be on the 8th of October. The scientific committee, I believe, is still finalizing the program. And once they are done, it will be uploaded onto the website, and we would also share for members to have a look at what to expect. However, the induction ceremony is slated for the 8th of October. That is Tuesday, the 8th of October. Thank you. Audidela, another question. Will the visits to the tourism sites be on different days or the same day?
Yes, so they are on different days. The complimentary one is on the Wednesday. And then I think the
Yes, the complimentary one is on Wednesday, and then the other ones would be on Friday.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Emanuela, the induction will also be in Cape Coast. Great. Okay. Thank you all for staying till now. We have a final, I think, presentation by election committee. So if they are on, I think.
So Sadam,
yes.
before the election committee takes over, Dr. Hayford has a special announcement. Special announcement for GAND members. It is fresh from the oven, so I want him to announce it himself. Dr. Hayford.
Okay, so Dela, thank you very much. So considering, as I said, the commitment of course, with the commitment and considering the discussions that we just had, people requesting that we further reduce subsidies to the already reduced rate. We are actually going to extend the early bird registration. It's supposed to be ending tomorrow, but we are actually going to further extend it to give people the opportunity to still benefit from the early bird rates. So this is, this is for your information and fresh from the oven. So we would extend the early bird registration, to allow more of you to be able to register, okay, so that you are not left out. So that is for your information. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hayford. And Dr. Hayford is the big man who is in charge of the treasury. So that is good news. So yes, I can see happy people in the chat. And there's a question about whether we can pay in installments. I really wish we could, but the system is not set up to pay in installments. So, like Dr. Hayford recommended, if possible, borrow and pay, and then you pay the installments to the source of the money. I mean, so that you can save the money. Yes. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So thank you. Yeah. So if Miss Manyaya Sulemana is on, I think we would like to hear from you now. I'll paste the attendance link in the chat so that we can register our attendance for this AGM. Thank you. Or if there's any member of the election committee on board, kindly.
I'm here, Emma.
Okay.
Hello,
everyone.
Good afternoon. I am super excited about this conference. I think RD Dela and Dr. Hayford has appetized my appetite for the conference. Thank you very much, GAND, for giving us the opportunity to serve on the electoral committee. And thank you very much to everyone who has supported us so far.
We had our manifesto reading a couple of weeks ago, and today is the day for our voting. So far, GAND has provided us with 83 number of members in good standing. And we have, out of this 83, 66 are full members. So far, we sent out emails containing login details to the voting site on the 28th of this month. So that's 2 days ago. If you're in good standing, you would want to check your email to see if you have the login details to be able to vote. Voting was to end at 4 p.m., but we have extended it to 5 p.m. today. So I would indulge candidates to kindly reach out to their delegates in good standing to kindly visit their emails for the login details so that they can cast their votes. So far at the back end, we have less than 20 people out of the 83 people in good standing who has voted already. So please be encouraged. And our student members are not voting at all. So I kindly encourage all student members to also check their emails and then log in and vote. Voting is actually very simple. It will take you less than 2 minutes to cast your vote. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm grateful.
All right, thank you. Please, are there any questions or comments to the EC? Okay, RDA4 is saying she has a challenge. She has paid, but she has seen no email. Okay. Let me see if I can do a little explanation here. So for on the voting platform, members would log in using their GAND numbers and then a password that has been generated for them. So if you have a GAND number and you are in good standing, you would have received an email with the information on how to vote and where to vote. So for members who are also in good standing, who have not registered on the website to have GAN numbers, and we have their emails, we created a code for them to also use to vote. So if you don't have a GAND number yet, you are still able to vote. If you've not received the email, it could be that maybe you should check your spam or other folders, because we've sent out the emails for those who had registered, who had paid up, I think up to yesterday. Yes. And will we be allowed to vote if we make payments now? EC, do you want to address that?
Hello.
Yes.
Well, so the person is asking if she can vote if she makes payments now.
She's asking if she'll be allowed to vote if she makes payments now.
Yes, if you make payments before the close of voting, we can quickly let you vote. Yes, please.
Okay, so I have the website manager on, and he would like to make a comment on what Dr. Steiner-Asiedu just asked about whether you will be allowed to vote if we make payments now, in response to also EC's comments on that. Yes. So Franklin, thank you if you are on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, thank you for the opportunity and greetings to everyone. Per what I know is members who are in good standing that are supposed to vote, and per voting styles, the last time that we are supposed to collate was yesterday at 5 p.m. So we were able to take our time to get every member that is in good standing by 5 p.m. yesterday. But we actually extended the time to 8 p.m. That was when we finalized everything and then upload every details to the voting platform. So as at now, it's 2:25 and voting is supposed to end at 5 as the extended time. At the moment, adding you into the system again for voting will be kind of a conflict. Yeah, and then per what I know, when it comes to the voting, the EC have in generalized term, when we are supposed to vote, they do collation of the database and all that. So after the time the EC speculated, if you are not in good standing or if you are not at the age of voting, you will not be able to. Yes. So I'm not trying to go against what the EC said, but that's my view and that's what I think. So anyone who paid tomorrow after 10 or this morning or at this dawn, maybe another time for the voting. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I think the Constitution says that you should be a paid up member. And so whether you paid up yesterday or whatever, once there is any proof of the person that the person has paid, then the person is in good standing, and that person should be made to vote. Whether the person paid yesterday or today is quite irrelevant in this matter. And the point is that if the person is in good standing, the payment regulation is concerned, I think the person should be made to vote.
Okay. So Collins is saying that it appears not everyone in good standing who do not have the GAND number has received the code. Who can they contact to get the code? I think they are to contact the EC. That is
Yes.
what
I don't know which emails did they use, or did they send it by WhatsApp or whatever? Because I've not seen any code.
We sent emails to the people, so they should have who they should contact. I believe it was in the email, I think.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I see that most members haven't received their emails yet.
Oh, but the GAND number, the passcode. So the passcode is the general passcode that you have provided, right?
Are there any members who have voted and could let us know how the process went?
Okay, so I have voted. I use my GAN number in capital letters. So I got a message from the EC, and there was a link to the voting platform. So I clicked on the link. It took me to a page that requested that I put in my GAN number.
Hello,
in capital
Antiphus.
letters. Presido, your mic is on.
Okay.
So I did I put in my GAN number, and you are supposed to keep put in your password, and I think they have given what you are supposed to how you are supposed to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's part of the email. So you go through that procedure. I did it I think within 30 seconds I was done.
Yeah, but how do you find our GAN number if we have forgotten it?
Your GAND number can be found on the site. So just go to gandonline.org and click on your profile. You see that number that starts with G, capital GFM. And if you're a student, I think it's capital GSM. So that's the number we need for you to vote.
And all members who have registered online, once you activated your account, you received an email with your GAND number. So it should also be in your email. Yes, please.
They can also log into their user portal and then they will see it there as well.
Yes, that's true. You can also log into your account online to see your GAN number.
Hello, Sana.
Yes.
Yes, Sana. I think the challenges of those who registered for their GAD number after the EC had compiled the list. So they are having issue with the password access. So I don't know if the EC can address those issues. But for those who have registered before they did the final list by 5 p.m. yesterday or 8 p.m. As they mentioned, I think they are not having problem with the voting. But it's those who did the registration afterwards or made the payments afterwards, I think that's where the challenge is coming from.
Yes, and so those who don't have the GAN numbers, their information are with the EC. So once you reach out, I think she has the list of the emails and the information for you to log onto the platform to vote. So we should share that with you. Okay. Thank you, Madam EC. And hope we are able to vote before the time ends. Thank you. So I think now we would have an open forum for a few questions and comments, and then we should be rounding up soon. We've been here since 11 a.m. So it's been a long AGM, and thank members for staying with us from the beginning. Yes, so now open forum. Any questions, comments? Yes, Mr. Kennedy. Yeah, please go ahead. Kennedy, please, your hand is up. Kindly unmute and go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, so mine is more of a comment. Um, uh, regarding getting all members on board. Sometimes it appears we focus more on those in the fraternity who are still students or working with Ghana Health Service or the public institutions or training institutions. It appears sometimes we forget or don't actively include practitioners who are working with other organizations besides Ghana Health Service or the Ministry of Health training institutions. So my comment is just that we try to actively also engage other practitioners who might not be mainstream Ghana Health Service, Ministry of Health institutions. Thank you.
Okay, comments well noted. Thank you. Okay, if there are no comments, I think I'll just call okay, Mr. Kula, do you want to
Yes.
make a comment? Yes.
Yes, just a comment. I realized that the registration form, when I opened, there was no place for middle name. So I don't know whether it's intentional. Or how do you want it to be filled? Because I just realized that there was no provision made for middle name. It's same name and first name. So what's the convention?
Okay, I think we'll pen it down and maybe we would look at adding a space for that on the registration. Okay. Okay, so I think we should be rounding up. I think I would call Felicia Danso, who is our zonal rep.
Hello. Hello.
Let's give some
Yes.
minutes.
Senam.
Yes.
Yes, I would like to ask a question, say something about the
Okay.
website. So, please, if you remembered you have signed up on the website and then you can't get your password or you've forgotten your username and password, just use your email that you used to register and then reset your password. And it's advisable every 3 months you do that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, President, please, you wanted to make a comment?
No, I was just saying, let's give some people some few moments to do that or find out whether everybody has been able to vote.
Yes.
Right.
So, Madam Felicia, if you are still on, we would like to hear your voice, your comments. So we have been on the seats. You joined us as a member of the board just last year, and maybe you can give some insights to members, give some comments, or if any of the executives on call would want to make a comment, kindly unmute and do so, because our members are not talking, so we can also give some final words, so to say. I see Madam Felicia on call, Reverend Beidou is on call, RD Alice is on call, Mr. Mensah is also on call. Well, RD Dela is on call, yes. So we'd like to hear something. Your tenure is almost over, and what are you expecting from maybe our next group of executives, etc.? Mr. Mensah.
Yes, madam.
Pardon?
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yes. Okay, RD Alice, please go ahead. We can't seem to hear Mr. Mensah. I think his network is bad. RD Alice, your hand was up. Kindly unmute and talk. Reverend Beidou, please, do you want to say something?
Oh,
It
I
seems like
think
everyone I'm calling is not saying
I think
anything. So
I think it's been a great AGM, and some insightful discussions have gone on, and very important contributions have also been made. So I think GAND will be better off than from here. And I believe that I want to say thank you to all members for keeping faith with us throughout all this time. So our last AGM with them. So I want to say thank you to all of them on behalf of my colleagues on GB. Thank you. Over.
all right, thank you very much. Okay, so Mr. Mensah says his network has been bad. That's how come he's not been able to connect with us. Okay. Please remember to log in, to fill out the attendance form that is being shared in the chat for your CPD points. Yeah, so I think at this juncture, we should be rounding up. I believe once the time for election is up, the EC will let us know where and when we are to converge to view the results. So, and we will communicate that to you on our various platforms. Yes, Dr. Hayford, your hand is up, sorry. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Moderator. I mean, this is just to take an opportunity to thank the outgoing executives. Just want to add my voice to my other colleagues. And I would always say that they've done a very, very fantastic job. And then I feel that they have really laid down solid foundation, for this organization to only grow and just move forward. I can't see any other thing than just the organization growing forward, based on the very solid foundation that they have actually laid. So just want to take the opportunity to say kudos to Professor Preko and the team, for a very good, well done. And then also to wish them all the best. For those who may not be coming back to take any position or are not contesting for any position, wish them all the best in their future endeavors. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hayford. Thank you. Okay, so I think I'll call on the Vice President to give us the closing remarks, and then I'll call on another member to say a prayer, then we can all call it a day. So, Vice President, Mr. Percival Agodo.
All right, Acting Secretary, thank you for the opportunity. Usually, I thought that it is the president who gives closing remarks, but thank you for elevating me. But I'll just say that, it's been a very wonderful journey so far. We agree that the journey is still young. GAND is still young, but I have full confidence in the next generation of leaders, or the next batch of leaders. And I believe that we can only get better. But for us to do that, we all have to work together. The word eschew sounds interesting in my ear, so I'll use it. Let's eschew all forms of division, and let's do our best to build more bridges rather than burn them, so that we can have a very strong GAND in the coming years. And thank you all for the opportunity to serve, and thank you all for being part of this AGM. We'll meet again in Cape Coast, where we'll finalize the AGM with the handing over and credentialing ceremonies and induction ceremonies. And I'm trusting and believing that GAND members will flood Cape Coast. I am praying for no less than 500 to 800 Ghanaians and GAND members. And I pray that all of us will push to make that dream come true. God bless you. Professor Preko, thank you so much for your leadership. God bless you all. Over.
All right. Thank you very much. So I just want to give some few announcements on what to expect in the coming months. So as we are all aware, in October, from the 7th to the 11th, we have a conference coming up. Our AGM will be on Tuesday, the 8th of October, and we'll be having our induction, the credentialing, the handing over ceremony, and then the address by the new president. Once we are back from Cape Coast on Wednesday, the 23rd, we will have our final CPD. We were supposed to have it at the beginning of the year, but we couldn't have it. So that is a wellness focused nutrition practice CPD. And then from the Monday 28th to Thursday 31st of October, we will be sending out the CPD attendance list to GAND members for you to verify. So all the CPDs you've attended with GAND for this year, we will send it for you to verify if your name is correct, your email is correct, your AHPC PIN is correct. So you verify before we send it out to HPC. Yes, so that is what we have for you. We are also encouraging members who have still not gone for their credential certificates or lapel pins that are with the Secretariat to kindly do so. We would also bring it to the ANEC conference, to the annex. So if you want, you can also meet us there for it. So thank you very much for staying with us from 11 a.m. till now. I think I'll call on RD Wise Lecha to kindly share a closing prayer with us. Then we can go off.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Moderator. Shall we pray? Father, Lord, we thank you for your goodness and your mercy. Thank you for seeing us through yet another year as a professional body. Thank you for a successful meeting. We thank you especially for the lives of the outgoing governing board members. Thank you for helping them sacrifice themselves to better the affairs of the professional body. We pray for the days ahead, the conferences ahead, and everything, and all meetings that we'll have. May you continue to bless members, continue to bless our GAND, and then may you move us from strength to strength. We thank you for the opportunity to also elect new leaders today. May you let that process also proceed smoothly, and may the deserving candidates be the winners. Father, we thank you. We bless your name. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. Thank you all very much for joining in, and we will see you when EC calls us. Thank you all. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much,
Bye.
Madam Moderator. Great